Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first video. I wouldn't be surprised. This is all still very new here, so this could well be your first video. If you don't know me, my name is Rob, this is The Angler, and today we're going to do a review on the Blockhouse Bivvy by Nash. First of all, let me just say a little thing with regards to reviews. This is my first review I've done on this channel, and I'd like you to know kind of what my ethos is on reviews going forward, and what you can expect from me with regards to that. I'm not going to do loads of reviews. It's not going to be the cornerstone of my channel by any means, but I plan on doing a few. I think it's helpful for other anglers to talk about some of the bits, and I'd like to see more good, honest reviews out there, and that's what I plan on putting forward. I shouldn't say this in a non-negative way, but it's tricky. There are reviews out there that aren't necessarily honest, I think. And if they're not honest, they're definitely a little bit disingenuous. I don't understand how you can put out a good review on a product when you've only been using it 2 minutes, or, you know, one session or something like that. I see loads of reviews from, not loads, I see reviews from people that have just received a product from a sponsor or whatever, or I see people that have just bought it or whatever, and obviously they've got an affinity with that company, and they're more than happy to go out there and say, I've got this product and it's amazing, it's fantastic, and they've only used it for 2 minutes. I don't think that's fair on anyone, and I think it's fair on the people they're doing the review for, because it kind of puts them in a bad light, and it's certainly not fair on the people that are wanting to go out and buy that product because they're not getting an honest review on it. So I don't think it's fair to do that. I personally believe that if you're going to do a review on a product, you have to use it for a reasonable amount of time. Depends on what it is, you know, anything from a month or longer, or if it's something like a bivvy or something, I'd say you've got to at least use it in a few seasons, you know. This product that I'm about to review now, I've used it for 6 seasons. And I don't mean 6 seasons with regards to 6 fishing seasons. I bought it in the summer. I've used it summer, autumn, winter, spring, summer, autumn. And now I'm just going into the 7th season now, the winter. So that's how long I've used it for. And I believe that using it for that amount of time, I can give an honest review on you know, everything that's to do with the bivvy. So yeah, it doesn't sit well with me, people that do reviews on products when they've only been using it for 2 minutes. So just know that if you see a review from me going forward, it's going to be an honest review, and it's going to be a review on a lengthy amount of time. It's going to be a review on an adequate amount of time for me to actually judge the product. So hopefully you can relate and understand what I'm saying there. So I'm not going to labour the point. Let's just crack on with the review, shall we? So I don't want to start my videos on bad notes or anything. That's not meant to stir controversy or whatever. I just felt like I needed to say that in my first review because it's something I've felt for a long time. Anyway, first of all, sorry about the background. I know it's not very fishy. It's not hardly a carby setup, is it? This is my I do leatherwork as a hobby. This is my leatherwork setup. I couldn't get on the bank this week for a few reasons, so this is just being filmed in here, so sorry, this is all I could do. But I've taken some footage on the bank. I'm also going to use some footage from Nash as well, so I should be able to get this review out, no problem. What's the structure of this review going to be? Well, what I'm planning on doing is giving you some good points and bad points, some things about the bivvy that I would like to improve in the future. If you gave me the reins and I could be in charge of the next iteration of the Blockhouse bivvy, what would I do to improve it? And then I'll give you a kind of conclusion at the end on who I think this bivvy is for, whether you should buy it, yeah, that sort of thing. And then answering the big question at the end is, when I look at reviews, what I'd really like to know from someone is if they had the money again, if you could put them back in that position when they first bought the product with the money in their hand, about to pull the trigger and buy the product, knowing what you know now after using it for a lengthy amount of time, would you buy it again? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's the only question I want answered from a review. And yeah, I'll answer that obviously later on. Don't fast forward to that question. Right, so the Blockhouse Bivvy by Nash. It is a big bivvy. I presume, well, I don't presume, it's got to be an evolution of the gazebo shelter that Nash brought out, I think 2, 3, 4 years ago. And it's kind of the gazebo was something that you'd use if you went on holiday, or if you were going on a longer session, or if you had a bit of room by the bank or something, or you were doing a social with the lads, something like that. And you use the gazebo as like a kitchen setup, or just to sit up to chill out with the lads. And Nash do like a bank life kind of scenario where you can connect bivvies together and that sort of thing. I'm sure you've seen it. The gazebo was kind of like the central point, the hub, as it were, for the fishing, for the social, sorry. So the Blockhouse is kind of an evolution of that. So the Blockhouse is a big bivvy, but it's a big bivvy with not a ridiculous footprint. That kind of doesn't sound like them two things go together, but let me explain. It's a very tall bivvy. I think it's got to be one of the tallest bivvies out there. I'm 6'2" and 20 stone. I'm a big bloke, yeah, and I can just about stand up in the central part of the bivvy. So if I stand bang in the middle, I can stand up straight without bending over whatsoever. So it's at least 6'2". I put the measurements up on a screen here. and you can see how tall it is. It's not a dead square, so the blockhouse isn't a dead block. It's kind of like that. So that's the floor. It comes up at kind of that sort of angle, and then has just a very shallow peak at the top. So it's not quite a block, but it is a very blocky bivvy. And I'll talk a little bit later how that affects it in wind and rain, etc. But it's a big bivvy. It's very tall, but the actual footprint on the ground and how much room you've actually got inside the bivvy, it fits most swims. I haven't been in a swim yet where I haven't been able to fit it. No, tell a lie. There was one swim. So I'm on a syndicate lake at the moment. It's quite a small one. It's only 7 swims, and there's one swim on the lake that I haven't tried to put it in yet, but I don't think it will fit because it is quite tight. But every other swim on the lake, I've been able to fit it in. Some have been a little bit more cramped than others, but it's not ridiculous. I would kind of class it as a big double two-man bivvy, a big two-man bivvy. I wouldn't say it's 3, I would say it's a decent sized 2. You could definitely fit 1 adult and 2 kids if the kids were in sleeping bags or something like that. Or if you had 2 kid-sized bed shares, you could probably fit that in. I'm not going to say definite, but you could probably fit that in. You can definitely do 2 adult-sized sleep systems, because I've done it with my daughter. My daughter used my old bed share, and I was in another one, and we had a table in the centre, and there was easy enough room for both of us. So you could definitely do that. So yeah, it's a decent size, but it's not ridiculous. It's definitely luxurious for one man. I love it. And anybody that ever comes to my swim and sits down, they always say, the first thing they always say when they see me is, wow, you're set up here, aren't you? And then they take a little look around and go, God, this is nice. And it is. I whenever I get set up for fishing now, I get set up quite nicely with my bivvy, because that's the way I fish now. Okay, so spoiler for the review. This is pretty much a positive review. There's not going to be a lot negative to say about it. I've had a vastly positive experience with it, and I do think it's a very good design. I think it's a good bivvy overall. But nothing's perfect, nothing ever is. So there are a certain few negative things about the product that I would like to bring up. And that's the protection with regards to the rain and the weight of it. It's a heavy bivvy. Now, is that anybody's fault? No, it's obvious. It's a big bivvy. There's lots of poles, there's lots of material. It's going to be a heavy bivvy. So that's not necessarily anything that can be done. Just know that if you're going to buy a bivvy of that size, it's going to weigh a lot. There's nothing you can do about that. The only way they could make it light is by cutting down the quality of the material and cutting down the quality of the poles, and then it's just going to snap in the wind. So there's no way around that. It's going to be a heavy bivvy. You have to find ways around it, and I separate out the bags, keep the bivvy in one bag, keep the ground sheet in another, and that's just how I get around the weight. So that's that. And then the other one is kind of, it is a fault that I think should have been fixed, and that's the rain. I'm not too sure how this got missed in the testing stage, or whether they just decided that it's just something that you're going to have to put up with regards to the bivvy, and that's the rain, and you're just going to have to zip yourself up, because that's the only way around it. If it rains and you're just using this bivvy, the only way to stop yourself getting wet inside is just enclosing yourself in the bivvy, zipping up everything, and then you're just enclosed inside. Now, I don't like fishing like that. I like fishing with the door open, always have done. In any weather, I always fish with the door open. So the way I got around it is by using a tarp, and I make myself a little porch. I do like an A-frame, a bit of Boy Scout. I always fish with the tarp anyway. So I set myself up a little A-frame going above the top of the bivvy, and I make myself a little porch, and that works for me fantastically. And I just sit under that in any weather. I always set it up I set the bivvy up, and then I set my tarp up straight away after, and it's just makes a lovely place to sit, just in the porch way. It's how I do it. Now, there is a kind of way you can make a porch with the bivvy itself, the front door, but the problem with it is that rain can come down the side of it. I presume this is the other thing they maybe thought, but didn't necessarily test as well. I don't know. I don't want to, lay blame or anything, but it's that the front door is quite wide and big, so you can lift up the front door and put 2 poles. I'll show some footage of Nash doing it now, and you can see that you can create yourself a little porch area like that. The problem is there's nothing on the side, and there's no way around it. If it's windy and it rains, the rain just comes down the side of it. And also, if you've got if you've got the door and the 2 poles and it's really raining heavy, you get a scenario where you get like when you've got wet coming through the ceiling and it balloons, you get that on the doorway, and it creates a massive weight that just bends the middle of the doorway, and it's a nightmare. In the summer, or to get out the sun, yeah, fine, do it, but don't do it to get out the rain. Do what I do with the tarp. That's really, I think, the only way around it. So yeah, that's the only really negative thing I can say about it. The rest is all really positive. So let's talk about that, because that's the good stuff about the bivvy. So yeah, the size, I think we've commented on the size already. You know that. It's a great bivvy. The size is awesome. It's really nice to stand up. It's really nice to sit down in your bed chair and tie rigs and stuff. You've got all loads of space around you. You've got a hook in the centre of the bivvy where you can hang a nice light, and also put a light on the wall. so I can, you know, have nice light all around me, and I set up rigs and do whatnot in it. And it's a lovely place to be. It's really nice and spacious. All around the bivvy, you've got various hanging points. Now, Nash sell a hanging kind of storage system that you can put up. I'm not sure on the price, I'll put it up here, but what I do is I just tie up paracord lengths joining up. I'll show you some pictures up on screen now of what I do. They make great little sort of places to hang sunglasses, alarms, whatnot, whatever you want to do. I put my bin up on one, I put loo roll up on another, and some kitchen roll, you know, to clean stuff. And yeah, just tying some paracord in between all those hanging points just makes a great little addition to the bivvy. I think they should come with that as standard, actually. Any bivvy that I fish with from now on, I will always make myself these little hanging points because I've got so used to them now. They're awesome. I've got my iPad here that I've just wrote stuff down with, so I hope you don't mind me using this. The bag that it comes with is excellent. It's not so big that it's cumbersome, and not so small that it makes it a nightmare to put away. You know, it's just a decent sized bag. It's big enough that I put away the bivvy in it. It's big enough to put the ground sheet away in it, but I don't. I keep the ground sheet separate, so it's easy to carry. I put my bivvy in the bag, I put the ground sheet, I put all my pegs, I put a couple of poles to set up my tarp thing, I put the tarp in there, and then I've still got a little bit of space for a couple of odds and sods. So the bag is a really nice size. A set of tent pegs with it, which are really good quality. They're fine. They don't, well, I'll say they don't bend. They do if you really whack them, but they're good quality pegs. They're not them small little stupid ones that are just all made out of metal. Decent set of pegs. You get 2 bars that comes with the bivvy that you can clip up to the front. I'll show some footage up on the screen here. They make great places to rest a spod rod or rest an extra rod or put your rod while you're changing your baits or whatever. It makes a really nice place to rest your rod. Oh yeah, and the interior has got a condensation shield. So there's the central peak, should I say. So I said earlier the bivvy goes like that, and then you've got a small like peak at the top. And this peak going along here is covered on the inside by a vapor shield. I was saying a vapor shield because that seems like an obvious thing to call it. I'm not actually sure what it's called, but if I can show some footage up on screen now, I will. And that stops any condensation. I've not had any problems with condensation dripping on my head or anything. That stops it altogether. I haven't had a single bit of condensation anytime I've ever used a bivvy, so that obviously does its job. And I don't use a winter skin either, which I do believe you can buy for it. I'm pretty sure you can buy a winter skin for it, but I've never used a winter skin. You will get condensation on the walls in cold weather. That's obvious. There's no way around that. But I've never had any problem with things dripping on my head at all. That's been no problem whatsoever. I'm trying to think of any other features around the bivvy. There's, you know, one thing I've got to talk about, and that's easiness of putting up. For a bivvy of this size, it is so easy to put up. It's an absolute doddle. It goes up in no time. I reckon if I was racing, I reckon I could get it up in 2 minutes. Probably 3 realistically, but I reckon I could get it on 2 minutes if I was really rushing. It is so quick to put up for its size. It's so easy. Normally, just when I'm, you know, just doing whatever and just getting set up, I can get the whole bivvy set up from inside the bag to completely set up with a ground sheet in and all pegged out in 10 minutes. No problem. Easy. It's all kind of, it's already set up. The ground sheet is separate. And then you just unclip everything and push some poles together. It's got some little clips on it. There's no way I can explain it really, but I'll just show you on screen now of Nash setting it up. It's very, very simple to put up. I didn't take any footage of me putting it up because there's no point. Nash already do a much better video than I could do, so I'll just put some footage of them putting it up, and you can see that it's an absolute doddle. It's nice and easy. And yeah, there's nothing else I can say about putting it up. It's just so easy. And taking it down is the same. It goes down even easier than it goes up, actually. So what did that sound wrong? I don't know, but it definitely goes down easier than it is. To take it down is a doddle. It's no problem at all. So both putting it up and putting it down, not an issue at all. So one thing I just will mention is that if you do get the bivvy, when you put the bivvy away, undo the ground sheet from all the Velcro points and leave it on the floor, and then unpack your bivvy over the top of it, because what happened if you take the ground sheet out and remove it, when you put the bivvy down, you'll scratch the vapor shield, that interior bit, that will scratch on the floor. The very first time I'd done it, I made a little hole in my vapor shield, which obviously isn't ideal, but I learnt my lesson. Then every single time after that, I've just left the ground sheet down and unpacked it and folded it up on top of the ground sheet, put it away, and then just fold up the ground sheet, and it's been no problem. So just a little tip for you there. So I don't think there's an awful lot more I can say about the plus points. That's all the features from it. That's all the positives I can think of. I've very much enjoyed fishing from it. It's a lovely place to be. The interior, because it's a block, creates the best doorway of any bivvy I've ever had. It's just fantastic. Waking up in the morning, look up, and you've just got a massive square like TV screen of the lake, and it's awesome. It's a really, really comfortable bivvy, and the view you get from the massive opening on the doorway is great. I mean, if you're the sort of person zips yourself up at night and encloses yourself, then I suppose it'd be quite pleasant inside an enclosed space, and you can almost seal yourself in like a capsule. Nash says you can seal yourself in so you'll get no pests whatsoever. Yeah, but you will still get the occasional one because there's no way you can 100% seal it in, but you can do a pretty good job of it. So let's talk about some improvements I'd love to make. If I could get the reins and say, Rob, you're in charge of the next iteration of the Blockhouse, what would you do to change it? I'd love to have a go at that. So what would I change? First of all, what would I keep? Everything. Everything that's on the bivvy right now I would keep. I wouldn't take anything away from it. The way that it goes up is fantastic. The way it comes down is fantastic. All the interior hanging points are great. You get the rods to place, you get the little things to rest your rod up against. Fantastic. The doorway is awesome. I wouldn't change anything apart from one thing, and that is what I commented on earlier, and that's how it deals with the rain. That's the only thing you need to deal with to make this the perfect bivvy, in my opinion. Or one thing I didn't mention earlier, and I should mention it now, the cloth that it comes with, it's acceptable. It's not the best material you'll ever see in the world, but it's kind of understandable why. If you did put the absolute best material on money could buy, you wouldn't be able to lift it. It'd be a really ridiculously heavy bivvy, and also it would probably cost 1,500 quid. So for the size the bivvy is, for the material that you get, it's perfectly adequate. I gave mine a once over the old Fabri-Seal, and that sealed it all in, no problem. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. So the only thing you've got to change is just how it deals with the rain. That's the only thing that's got to be sorted on it, and then it's going to be the perfect big bivvy. And I wouldn't say the way to go around it is by buying an additional feature for the bivvy, buying a peak or buying something like that you set up to combat it. I think for £500 the bivvy is, it's good value for money at £500, but I don't think you should get a bivvy that lets in the rain for £500. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say to someone, there's a bivvy for 500, go and buy it, and also buy this £50 extra peak so you can keep the rain out. It should keep the rain out as a given, shouldn't it? So I don't think it should be an extra purchase. Personally, I would just bring out the Blockhouse version 2, and where the doorway thing comes out, personally, I would find a way of making that doorway into a house style and not a flat thing. So you need some sort of support bar to bring it out into the top. So just say the blockhouse is here, just say the roof of the blockhouse is here. You need some sort of way to turn it into the traditional house. So you need a support bar coming out. So that makes the thing into like an A-frame coming out, and then you just need to drop cloth down either side and then peg it out, and it'll look like an igloo. If you can think of an igloo, it'll look exactly like that. So you'd have the blockhouse as the main bivvy, and then this roof that is also the door. You lift up the roof, put a pole in the centre, then drop the sides. It looks like an igloo, and then that keeps out all the rain. It'd make a nice little porch at the front. It'll make a really nice place to be actually out the front, and that keep out the rain, no problem. So in conclusion, I said earlier, the question that I would want answered is, if I could put this money in your hand, and you know what you know now, would you buy the bivvy again? Yeah, I would, 100%. And I don't think that's any surprise from the review that I've just given. It is an ultimately positive review. It's a little niggle with regards to the rain, but at the end of the day, nothing's perfect, and I've managed to get around it easily, and with a feature that I actually enjoy. I enjoy using the tarp and making it a little porch on the front, so for me it's not a problem at all. If that's not for you, I'd completely understand it, but for me it's not an issue. So I think I would definitely buy it again. I would definitely buy it again. If you gave me the money, 100% yes, it would be a done deal for me. I suppose a good thing to bring up would be who I think this bivvy's for. So if you're going on holiday and you want a bivvy that's got loads of space, you're going to be in swims where there's loads of space, and you want a really luxurious bivvy to relatively enclose yourself into, so it's got fly screens everywhere. You've got you've got panels that you can, I didn't mention this earlier, I should have done, sorry. There's panels where you can roll up so you get airflow through the bivvy. There's panels on all four sides, so you can literally make it into almost like a gazebo with fly screens all around it. So it's really great. I think it's probably ideal for a holiday bivvy. If you're fishing in the UK, you're like me, and you're a stationary angler for whatever reason, then I'd say this is a good purchase for you. Would you use it for an extra place to set up a kitchen or something? I think it's a bit overkill for that. I think they're probably better off just sticking to the gazebo. See, I've never been in the gazebo, so I can't comment on what the build quality is like in comparison to this. If you did just want to set up somewhere as a kitchen, I think you'd probably be better off going for the gazebo, because I believe it's cheaper. I'll put up there what the price is, and if I can find some information on whether or not it's similar. But yeah, if you were looking for just somewhere to set up a kitchen, I think this is probably overkill for it. I'm trying to think of other scenarios. I think I pretty much covered there. So that's as much as I think that I can say on this bivvy. I hope that covers everything that you need. Use the comments. If there's other questions that you've got, I'll make sure that I follow this thread, and I'll keep looking back at this video and answering any comments. Actually, when you place a comment, it notifies me anyway. So if you've got any questions about the bivvy, stick it in the comments, and I'll make sure that I answer them as quick as I possibly can. And also, I'd love to hear, if you've got this bivvy, I'd love to hear how you got around the rain situation. What do you do? Do you just enclose yourself, or have you got some other sort of snazzy way of dealing with it? Because if it's easier than what I do, I'd love to hear about it. So let us know, if you've got this bivvy, what you think about it. Do you think it's worth the money? Do you get around the rain different way? Do you like what I do with the paracord? Do you do that, or did you spend money on the Nash storage thing? Let us know. Yeah, I'd just love to hear your comments about what you think of the review, and if you've got the bivvy, what you think about it yourself. So that's it. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed my first review, and I will catch you in the next video. See you soon. Take care. Bye.